that?
I think so. I know that. I don't know why. Maybe somebody I know in the neighborhood.
I got a lot left.
Oh, I ate Stefanik, and then I'll try and look up yeah, and then find about here he is with Mike Schmitz, everybody knows about Mike Schmitz, and it should come up. Oh, here it is. How to be happy and holy. Rules from a Benedictine monk. So, life hacks from a Catholic monk. Father Augustine. It's just in the car listening, or driving, or whatever you're doing.
There's so many saints I've never heard of or never know anything about. I never started talking about. I never even heard of it. You know, just, yeah.
So at first when he starts talking and you don't know that he's sick and on your life, you're thinking of, and then when they explain that he has this condition,
Media that you can pull up. Right. We just grew up in the dark age. Right. Whatever was presented to you was
what you knew. I didn't like to go out and search for stuff.
I just saw something. The guy gave a talk about nothing to do with but a phone, you know. When a phone first came out, people actually talked on it.
Yeah.
Now when people call you, please text me. Right. But just
whole different world.
back to didn't know any of this stuff.
No.
so I feel like it's easier to get excited about the faith because there's so much out there now explaining everything.
There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot of good stuff.
I just learned about YouTube not so long ago, and Janice will tell you I'm like a big fan. I watch everything on YouTube. And I traveled around the world on YouTube. I mean, you can watch travel from everywhere. You can, like now I'm doing the Advent, the month of Advent, the 25, but I'm listening to someone explain it to me, which is so much for me better than reading it and, the whole book of Luke and all of that, to read it myself versus have someone read it and then tell me about it. It just makes a world of difference, at least to me. It's just, totally.
Well, what's the visual learner versus
auditory?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so much
by
easier.
seeing, some people learn by hearing.
I'm all three. I gotta see it, I gotta hear it, and I gotta write I'm all three. I may never look at it because I wrote it down.
So you must be a teacher.
No, I wish I would. My dad was. I worked at Cleveland Clinic and Playhouse.
She is kind of a teacher. She works with HR and she teaches people about benefits and stuff. So she is kind of a teacher.
Found a way. Do you have a YouTube video that you can watch?
You should team up with her.
Yeah, there we go.
Develop a YouTube channel.
No, that was going to be when I retired. One of my things I always said I wanted to do was a podcast. I had no idea what it would be about, but I just thought I would be good at it. I don't know. I might not be good at it, but now that I'm into that YouTube thing, I'm like,
What do you do?
I retire. That's what I do.
Before you retired.
I worked in administration. I was an administrator at a closeout company. Just handle customer service, all that kind of stuff.
Director.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Again, teaching. A lot of teaching other people how to do things.
What else in the presentation?
Oh, very good.
Just because
I
it
have to
was,
digest it all.
yeah, but it was something that we didn't understand. It kind of strive for. But then I said, you were a kid, reach it, right?
I guess I kind of got like inspired that like her last words were, "My God, I love you." It was like, wow. I hope that I'm blessed with that ability to just, in my last breath, honor and speak my love for God.
Absolutely.
And you would think being 24 and being 6 is
Yeah,
better.
24. Yeah.
Better, you know.
During our 24, God was quite prominent.
Right.
Oh, gosh, no way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah.
No. Probably
I've talked to Kat numerous times about the whole, we've had a lot of conversations over coffee about the evolution of, where you started your faith and where you are now at 60 in a different, in a different place with that faith and how that all comes about, the ups and the downs of, the whole process, not going to church in my 30s and then coming back,
We have one more minute for table discussion, so kind of wrap it up. And then I'll be asking if anybody has anything to share as a large group. Maybe you've got like a remarkable story or something like that.
Bishop Barron, he is the patron saint of wood on fire.
Oh, yeah.
It takes
Somebody that a lot of people listen to. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look him up too, because a lot of people refer to Bishop Barron.
Does he have one on her?
the pivotal players, he calls them. He did. You're going to bring it down by like that.
I think I do remember that.
The author. Flannery O'Connor.
Oh, Flannery O'Connor, yeah.
And then, of course, Michael. And that one when he just did them separately. Ten of them. For some reason, St. Francis of Assisi.
Okay, everybody. So thank you for being so attentive through that presentation. And I just want to see if there is anything that anybody would like to share from their table discussion. Maybe you came up with a, sure enough. Who are you pointing to? Oh, good, Kathy.
This is also my favorite thing after I do the Navita a lot of times. And my mom was a registered nurse, and I'm a registered nurse, and we were very close to each other. And when she passed, I was with her and held her hand. I had given her a statue of the Blessed Virgin that she kept on her nightstand. So when she passed, they took the Blessed Virgin, since I'm the one that had purchased it, and took it to my house and put it on my nightstand. So one night I had gotten up to go to the bathroom, and around the Blessed Virgin was the smell of roses that was permeated my room. And I thought, well, maybe I'm, dreaming or that. And it wasn't. It was, I feel it was from Shower Me with Roses, and it was her sign to let me know that she was okay.
Wow. Very good, very good.
Thanks, Kathy. Anybody else? Anybody else have a story? Because there are a lot of stories out there, I know.
I have one, but I don't need that.
Okay. You tell me if she needs it.
I'm a teacher, you shouldn't need it. When I was a little girl, probably around 7, I'm not exactly sure when, my mom was having some medical issues and she had to have a breast biopsy done. And I didn't know that, but at the time she was doing the St. Therese novena, on the day before, I think it was her appointment and novena was ending, I gave her I think it was an envelope that I had drawn roses on, a card that I picked by myself that had roses on it, and I had drawn her a rose in there. So that was my mom's sign that everything was going to be okay and everything for her was okay.
Wow.
Those were her roses from St. Teresa.
Anybody else? Anything to share from your table?
We got one more.
One more. Joan.
Sorry. It's a rose story, not so much a century
Not sure
story.
where those roses
But it was, we had been to Medjugorje, and years later, there was the last apparitionist. He's a gentleman, and he came to speak at my old school, Regina, and they had told us before we went there are things that will happen here that are not natural, normal. You will notice them. And sure enough, we had watched him. He had his apparition, and we were sitting in the stands, and I started smelling the smell in front of me, and I'm smelling the lady's head, and it smells just like roses. So the lady in back of me taps me on my shoulder, and she said, "What is it?" And I said, "Well, the smell of roses is coming out of her head." She said, "Well, it's coming out of your head too." So we were all smelling that, yeah.
Interesting.
Great stories. Thank you very much.
My favorite 3 words from St. Thérèse Lisieux is, she says, everything is grace.
Yeah.
Everything. Think about that. Everything. And if you take a look at how Mary Pat presented her life tonight, everything, no matter what we go through, God's grace is there. Sometimes I think we don't realize that, but God's grace is always there for us. So I think that, to me, that's one of those things that I hold on to when I'm feeling stupid about my faith. Because it's true. Everything is grace, no matter what we go through. God is there. I just want to thank Mary Pat for her great presentation tonight. She worked really hard on it, and we will try to. I don't know what's going to happen Monday night, so we've got to come out and see. I'm really looking forward to it. But like I told you on Monday, you get 2 woos next week. How good is that? So I will be here Monday night to talk about Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, who is also known as Edith Stein, and is probably the most contemporary of the 4 saints that you're going to hear about. And then my brother Mike, Bishop Mike, will be here on Thursday, and he will talk about, and I think this is kind of providential, because to sum everything up, you take a look at John of the Cross, because he is by far, I think he is the master of spirituality, you know, contemporary of Teresa of Avila, and a lot of people looking up to her. Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, Teresa Blessed of the Cross. Of the Cross was the name she chose because of John of the Cross, and you'll understand why when we present her life. And I know that Teresa of Avila and Thérèse of Lisieux and Mother Teresa all had this incredible devotion to John of the Cross, who, if you get into his writings, is very, very complex, but my brother he's an expert at it. And I also think, honestly, he lives it out. So that makes a huge difference, because you're going to get it from an expert. Don't tell him I said that. That's what we just heard at the end, you know. He wouldn't want me to say that about him. But he does. He lives it out in a very, very, very powerful way. So thanks once again, Mary Pat. This is really working out well. We'll have dinner on Monday at 6. If you're coming on Thursday, please make sure you sign the papers back there. And for good reason, we need to know how much food to get. And we will also have the sign-up sheets after all the masses this weekend. So if you know of anybody else who'd like to come out and hear Bishop Michael, let them know that they can sign up, okay? How about if we stand and pray? You pray in the words Jesus has given to us. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Hail
Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Glory be
To the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Please be careful out in the parking lot going home. Drive home safely, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And grab